Anyway, off we go, exploring the town again. See if... no. Oh, I'm stuck with you. Fucking hell, Olven. Shit, hell, man. Olven, you dick. But don't let Olven hear me say that. That's not... I was going to say, that is just a Tatujan. That is not actually my man, so... I feel like if I want my man back, my punchy man, I don't necessarily think he's going to be where I left him, is he? I want Punchy McGee back. I don't want you, dwarf. Go away, dwarf. Ah, shit. Anyway, so moved on to Dreamcast, primarily based on the fact that it was Sega. There was nothing deeper to my reasoning than that. And as I say, it kind of gave me my love of RPGs with Skies of Arcadia, Grandia, Evolution, and Evolution 2. Time Stalkers. It's always the one I seem to forget the name of. I think it's Time Stalkers, yeah. Time Stalkers. I love Time Stalkers. How about you? You are getting stronger, but you need more experience. I'll be interested in talking to you when you have enough experience. Fuck you. Stuck with the dwarf. Fucking can't even get my damn boy Lux back. Go away, dwarf. Nobody loves you, dwarf. Nobody loves you, apart from dwarf lovers. That sounds oddly like it. I shouldn't have said it. Even though technically there's nothing like negative there. But it does sound like something you probably shouldn't say out loud. I don't know why, but still. Oh, wait, yeah. We can't waste time, so let's get going. The cave of Milan is located on the west of the continent. Okay, the entrance is deep inside the cave. Brand 2 join the party, yay! Accidentally succeeding at everything I try. I had no idea that was going to be a thing, but very important that we gather this man, because apparently he's the one who knows how to get in the place. So it's lucky I didn't venture off without him. Anyway, let's save it up again. Right, we've gotten to Dreamcast, where, as I say, my love of the RPG was kind of born with the Dreamcast. Can't think of any other examples, I don't think, is the honest truth. I mean, this is why I've missed a lot of these SNES type ones. So, you know, 7th Saga I never had because I never had a SNES, because, as I say, I was late to the Mega Drive. So I think was Mega Drive and SNES together? I think so. Or was it Mega Drive and NES? No, I think it's got to be Mega Drive and SNES, hasn't it, surely? Yeah, sounds about right. So I think I was kind of towards the end of the life of the Mega Drive and the SNES, and essentially had a Mega Drive, not a SNES, therefore missed a lot of the real legendary RPGs, such as this. I think Chrono Trigger, I believe, was a SNES, legendary SNES one. Breath of Fire technically was a legendary SNES one originally, I believe, but I had it on the Game Boy Advance when it sort of came out on there. But let's see other RPGs on the Dreamcast that I loved. I suppose not an RPG, but I loved Shenmue. Shenmue I liked as a game. I know many people don't, because it was sort of... I can't imagine it was technically the birthplace of the QTE, but nevertheless it did feature heavily in the QuickTime event processes. But I didn't mind that, and I quite liked the storyline and really thoroughly enjoyed it. So I enjoyed both Shenmue and Shenmue 2, both of which were on the Dreamcast, yes. And there was supposed to, of course, be a third one, I believe, but it never came out, because the Dreamcast died before it had an opportunity to, I feel. And that leads to a question later on, which I won't spoil. Anyway, so I'm heading west, kind of heading as west as I can. I don't know precisely where I need to go, so it's a little awkward, but never mind. These battles are a lot easier with... I keep going a lot more easy. I'm not sure if that's a word. I'm fairly certain that's not. Or that both are words, not structurally sound sentence making though. Not entirely sure that one is either. But it is easier with a companion. It's very nice. But was that dwarf the son of a bitch? who managed to put a bounty out on me. And when I claim this room, he's going to stab me in the back with that axe and run away with the room that I worked so hard to get. I have to watch that little bastard, see what he's up to at all times. So pretty much when the Dreamcast kind of died a death, there was of course kind of conundrum, because it was kind of like, oh, they're not really making any more games for the Dreamcast, and so I really kind of have to make it. Oh shit, my dead. Oh fuck, shit, balls, daddy wagging, tingle munchers. It's a lot easier with companion until you let that companion die, at which point it becomes very difficult. So we're going to head back to the village to try and revive my unfortunately dead ally. So yeah, there was a conundrum at the end of the Dreamcast where it was like, ooh, what do we get? And I'm fairly certain at that point, my two main options were PlayStation 2 and Xbox. They were the ones either out or coming out roughly at the time of the Dreamcast's demise. And so I think it was essentially, oh, I don't know, what one do I go for? And truth be told, I can't remember the reasoning. It's so many years ago, but ultimately it was a case of I pumped for the Sony PlayStation 2. And so that kind of lasted, the PlayStation 2 lasted a lot longer than the Dreamcast, I'm fairly confident. Well, I died. They do a lot more damage than I ever give them credit for. This has happened several times to me. One of many, most, in fact all of them, and by several times I mean twice now. Twice, where I've underestimated the amount of damage an ordinary monster can do and ended up dying. It's really quite annoying. But yeah, okay, you can very easily die in this game. That's the message I'm getting from it. Anyway, moved on to the PlayStation 2. As I say, the precise reasoning lost to history now, I think. No, yeah, cure is the poison, to heal it must be that. So luckily, I have the 240. Good man, just walking out of I like that, he just sort of steps casually to the side, and oh, there's a rematerialising dwarf. That is normal. I'll just take my place at the back of the party, making sure not to get in the way of a materialising dwarf, or else we'll have a fly situation alongside of the dwarf. We're going to just save it there. Not technically in the inn, I know, but fuck it. It's in the town, so it's less abusive than other methods. But okay, so I think I was heading in the right direction. Just unfortunate that the enemies are kicking the shit out of me. So yeah, with the PlayStation... Oh, I suppose GameCube. Now, when was GameCube? That was... I reckon that was probably PlayStation 2, Xbox, wasn't it? That was... GameCube would have been their offering at that time. Wouldn't it? Or would it? Yes, it would. Would it? Yes. Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Very much would. So I suppose, there you go. Technically, I had three options, I think. It would have been Xbox, PlayStation 2, or GameCube. And as I say, for whatever reason, and I genuinely don't know what, certainly between PlayStation and Xbox, I think just PlayStation had the history. Xbox was a new thing, wasn't it? It was like Microsoft, we are launching this brand new console. It was their first console. So PlayStation 2 certainly had the history of the PlayStation 1 being very good, so that may have played a factor. Other than that, I don't know. Between GameCube and PlayStation, of course, the GameCube would have had even greater history than the PlayStation if I'd looked that closely into the Nintendo side of things. But as I say, for whatever reasoning, I ended up with a PlayStation 2 and was most satisfied with my PlayStation 2 because I think the first game was bought as part of the package, and it was a game called Wave Race, or was it? Yeah, maybe, not sure. But nevertheless, it was Splashdown? splashy waves. It was a skidoo. Is that the right word? Skidoo. Sea-doo type things. Jet skis! That's what they're called. Jet skis! It was a jet ski racing game. And it was actually a very fun game. Very fun game. I always remember the fact that the fella was calling them buoys. Would you like to go out and wrap round the buoy? Whereas I know the word as boy. Oh boy! That's a big enemy. But yeah, I know the word B-O-U-Y I know of as being pronounced as boy. Whereas I think Americans, at the very least, I think Americans, possibly Australians maybe, call it a buoy. And it's always made me laugh, the idea of a buoy. Because it's just the excitement in his voice as well. It was like, go out and surf around the buoy! He loved it so much. He really did. This is a fucking tough enemy, apparently. Defend yourself as well. Boom. Keep punching and hacking. Hacking. Slashing away. Okay. I have a stoned dwarf. And now he's healed himself. Son of a bitch. You will not stone me. Good dwarf, you're out. Good Gimli, you're out of there. So, PlayStation 2. What did the PlayStation 2 give me? I've already mentioned Onimus Shitting Hell. That's right, Onimus Shitting Hell. Fucking... Really? Game? Really? Really? Fuck. This game hates me. Beyond compare. I'd like to just point out, A, why did it throw that fucker in my face? Out of all the monsters on the fucking beach, it just suddenly threw that fucker in my face. And B, why did it do 47 damage? Sweet mother of Jesus Christ, the 8th century wonder of serving salad on a Sunday. It's my best impression. It's my attempt at a Samism, technically. So I just fucking got the characters mixed completely. No, it would be a Samism. I can't afford the healing costs. I hate you, game. I hate you so much. Well, experience and gold gathering. That's what we're going to do in a moment. God damn you to hell. I don't like you. I don't like you. Not at all. I don't like you. I do. It's really very good, but very frustrating that it's just kicking the shit out of me. I clearly need more levels. That's the key to this scenario. More levels, more cash. But I feel like maybe I've missed out on equipment. But I mean, back me up. None of that equipment looked like it was equipable. So how I can be behind on equipment, I do not fucking know. Anywho, so PlayStation 2, what did it give me? Onimusha, Devil May Cry, Kingdom Hearts, Shadow Hearts, Legaia 2, very much like Legaia 2. A lot of these are sequels based on PlayStation 1 games. But I, you know, at that point, I never played PlayStation 1, therefore I'd never played them. So Legaia 2, I'd never played the original. Grandia 2, back on Dreamcast, I'd never played the first one. But many years later, and many years ago, so splitting the difference there, it was a good few years ago, I got the classic, the PlayStation Classic, upon my PlayStation, I can't remember if it was the PSP era or the PS Vita era. I think it might have been PlayStation Vita I had it on. And therefore I was able to experience that, which was rather pleasant. So yeah, having missed out on PlayStation 1 and... Oh, Fire 2, lovely. Opal found. Now, does Fire 2 overwrite Fire 1? Or does Fire 1 remain and I just have the access to Fire 2? Let us see. I might as well use it. See what it looks like. I keep Fire 1 and get access to Fire 2. Fire! Oh, look at that. Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno! Did I have... No, that's all of the theme magic. I I'm pretty much a one-shot wonder on the high-end magic, aren't I? I can pretty much go, hey, I can do this one spell that's awesome. I could have tried avoiding that battle, but I kind of deliberately ran into it. You can see, again, I'm assuming you kind of know this. ViceCommando, I'm sure you know this, and other people, if you watched the previous one, I'm sure I discussed it, but the little crystal ball and the little pixels show where the enemies are, so you can kind of, in a way, guide yourself into the enemies, / loosely attempt to fuck! That's right, loosely attempt to fuck. No, loosely attempt to evade. Oh, really? 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 You're gonna do that? You're straight gonna do that? Bastard. I don't know whether I should use this defense mechanic more often or not, to be honest. Because it's kind of, it is losing a turn, and therefore you are essentially taking extra damage, but then again you do extra damage, so what do I do? What do I do? I don't know. Annoying bullets. Alright, let's see. Hopefully now, if I don't, I can always sell that opal that I found moments ago. But I think, theoretically, surely, yes, good man, I have enough to heal my dwarf. I need to be more generous with my item use. It is important. Far more so than in many of the other RPGs I've been playing recently. I do have a tendency of not utilising potions and items to their fullest. I'm kind of like that in Pokemon as well. I don't tend to use potions, I just let them fight until they're fainted, and then start the process all over again. Alright, let's save that again as the state. I'm assuming that comes out on the camera. Yeah, it does, because it just basically takes the entire fucking frame. There is no sort of overlay style stuff that it doesn't discriminate. It is very non-discriminatory about what it captures. It will take anything and everything. So if I put something over the NES emulator, it would just capture that instead. Fun fact, if you're interested. So let's think about other games that I loved on the PlayStation 2. Let's think about it. I mentioned Suikoden 4, and that also leads into Suikoden Tactics and Suikoden 5. Although previously mentioned, I think I mentioned that Suikoden 5 I never really fully got into, and therefore haven't given it its proper due. And Suikoden 1 was back on the PlayStation 1, and I've been playing that recently as well. Other PlayStation 2 games. Shadow of Rome was on the PlayStation 2, and that was quite a nice little game. Wasn't overly enamoured with stealth sections, but then again, I'm not generally over enamoured with stealth games. But I must admit, there was a lot of fun to be had in the arena style stuff, the gladiatorial combat. If you hadn't guessed, Shadow of Rome is set in Rome, in the Roman Empire type time period, and it was very much based on gladiatorial combat, and you had very gory. And here we go again with this arsehole. Right, let's try the defending tactic. Oh shit, he's got fucking Firebird now. Fucking hell. Gonna flip me the bird. Oh, if you think you're gonna flip me the bird, I might flip you the bird back. Yay, nice one, buddy. Kind of critted him. And I think the level has made moderately substantial shit. Moderately substantial shit. Well, that's what happens if you go, you know... So the defense method really is helping him. Wow, really? 2 damage? What the fuck happened? I genuinely don't know. I'm slightly confused about why... Oh, there, suddenly 64. Well, there we go. Why did I have despair lost? I certainly had despair over fighting that thing. I'm assuming are we really going with that's the normal monster? I suppose maybe they've spread them out. No, maybe not. Thought perhaps they'd spread the enemies out slightly more so you could avoid them a bit easier, seeing as that's the enemy. I really hope that he's not just the standard enemy. I'm gonna have to heal myself, aren't I? I have such a reluctance. There's a certain... I bet a psychologist could probably link that to being stingy in money all over. But yeah, it's so stingy when it comes to items. I just don't want to use them. And yes, that does equate to me using up all my fucking money and never fucking getting anywhere in this game. It's unfortunate but true.